of things in life that seem pretty scary, but sometimes you just have to deal with them. And it's okay to be different. I've always known that I was different. I didn't want the same things everybody else wanted, the good job, the nice car in the driveway, the big money. I wanted something different. I wanted to do something worthwhile, something that I could give something back. I came to India in December 2008. I've done a lot of travelling. I've been very lucky. The one thing that bothered me from the minute I landed in India was the amount of rubbish everywhere, the garbage everywhere, and it's something that I've never seen. As I travelled around India, I was heading to Delhi, and I remember the sides of the train tracks being red. And as I got closer, I could realise that they were Vodafone cups from the tea that people have been throwing out of the window. And one of the things I used to do to pass time was see if I could spot a single piece of ground next to the road that didn't have litter on it. And I never found that piece of road. When I arrived in Dharamsala, I went there to volunteer for the Tibetan Children's Village. I myself sponsor 2 Tibetan children. I've done a number of fundraising events. I had a group called Love for Tibet, and that's how I ended up in Dharamsala at the Tibetan Children's Village. Every day walking there, I would see the local people throwing their garbage down the side of the mountain, and it's something that bothered me every single day, listening to the glass smash, hearing the cans roll all the way down. And I just couldn't understand why this was happening. The biggest problem is the lack of facilities. And as much as I enjoyed my experience volunteering at TCV, I decided I had to do something with garbage. I tried to volunteer for the Clean Up at Dharamsala project. They turned me down because I couldn't give 6 months. So I decided, well, I'm just going to do it myself. And I used to walk around with a big board saying volunteers needed. I'd leave it outside every shop I went in. And for my first mass clean-up, we had over 100 people. And I realised that I wasn't the only person that cared about cleaning up. There was lots of other people that wanted to help too. We organised another clean-up, again, hundreds of people. And this is where the name Garbage Girl comes from, because people didn't know what my name was, and they'd be like, the girl with the garbage, Garbage Girl, you need to go behind this hotel, you need to go here. One place that was repeatedly mentioned again and again was Triund. Triund is a mountain camp, a 4-hour hike from McLeod Ganj. So I thought, if I'm going to go there, I'm going to do something while I'm there. All of the newspapers say I'm an avid trekker. I am not. I went there to get the garbage. When we arrived, I saw the mountains. Spectacular, breathtaking. And then I looked at the ground. Black, burnt, littered. When I looked over the side of the mountain, I couldn't believe my eyes. And as we got further down, I could stand in my knees up to with plastic bottles. And that was the start of mountain cleaners. That was our first trip to Triund, and I've got a short clip that we'll show you now. How do I stop this? Because I'm not pressing this, it's just doing it automatically. Okay, thanks. So we're going to show a small clip now from the first film that was made, the first time that we went to Triund. It's just a short bit.
We have some gloves, and we have some bags. We're going to have some things for recycling, and then all the things that we can't, that just have to go to the dump in Dharamsala. I'm going to be here, and in the morning we're going to be cleaning. And if you're not sure, like with the recycling, if you pick up something and you think, can we recycle this? Don't guess. Ask me, or like you see this T-shirt. And people that are wearing this T-shirt, we know about recycling and what we can and can't recycle. Oh, thank you so much. When there's lots of people, it's so easy. And when there's only one or a few, it's a very big job.
Please, come here, please.
Yes, certainly.
Wow!
Look at all this.
Yeah, please.
Any kind of hard plastic, that can all be recycled. You've got...
So these were a group of school children that happened to be up there when we were there. And we just asked them, do you want to get involved? And obviously there's a big stigma with garbage here. but what the message that we're trying to get across is it's the very same packaging that you've just eaten your food out of. So, mountain cleaners, this was the beginning. We started a weekly waste collection. We told the chai shops, don't burn it anymore. Don't throw it down the side of the mountain. We will come and collect it every single week, and that's what we started to do. My visa ran out, I had to leave. I funded the project to keep going for some time, but while I was in the UK earning money, I was thinking, how do I make this sustainable? How do I make this last? When I came back to India, I spent 6 weeks doing research, visiting places where it was already working. I went to Pune, I went to Bangalore. I learned about waste management. I visited trade unions of rag pickers and found out that they'd reduced child labour by 70% by giving the women proper jobs. Instead of having to go to the landfill site with their whole family to collect plastic bottles, they were earning twice as much money in half the time they sent their children to school. I also went to Wapi, the Tetra Pak recycling factory, and from juice cartons, you can make these kind of things and even structures out of this. This is what we should be doing with garbage. We started the collection up again using volunteers. We had even more Indian volunteers this year and even a Burmese monk. We did the art project on the wall. It says leave footprints, not garbage, and it's a powerful message that everybody goes to Triund sees. We did a Mani Mahesh Yatra. It's a Hindu pilgrimage attended by 800,000 people. And how many dustbins? 0. So we had a really huge job when we got there. And we had 30 volunteers. It was difficult. We were there for 6 weeks, but we went into the schools. We talked to the local people. And we didn't clear the entire trail. But the following year, when we went back to Mani Mahesh, we found that they'd actually signed a 3-year waste management contract with Sulab International. The helicopter that carries the really rich people up there helped us to bring down recyclables. Now this picture, if you can see this yellow, this is a slide. So the children in my village used to come down the slide and land in that garbage. And I've cleaned that playground maybe 5 times and people still kept dumping in there, and it was the hotels, the expensive hotels that kept dumping in there. So we cleaned it again on Global Climate Action Day. We painted all of the equipment and 60 children came, and that's how it looks today. It's still clean. This is one of the areas that we maintain. When I came back to India, again, because obviously I had to keep going back to England to earn money, this is a voluntary role, I don't get paid, and somehow I have to live. When we came back, obviously everything continued while I was away. I had 2 volunteers, nothing has stopped, even when I'm not here, everything keeps going. And we had another Children's Day in Bagsu, because they are the ones that will do things very differently in the future, and I guarantee after growing up with these children and educating these children, they certainly won't be making the mess that their parents have made. I'm confident of it. I was invited as a guest speaker at WWF, India and the Eco-Tourism Society. Now this is a wall in Bagsu, full of posters, really ugly, so we decided that we'd transform it. And I'm not an artist, but that's what we turned it into, with the help of just volunteers and passers-by. So we still have the notice board on one side. It's not that the notice board is gone, and we've got messages there, keep Himachal clean and green, Punjabi, Tibetan, Hindi and English. We started a new project, Kareri Lake. So there's been a road constructed to Kareri. It's been under construction for about 3 years. This little piece of paradise, when that road is complete, will be turned into a tourist hotspot. And truckloads of tourists will be visiting there every day. And I can only describe it as paradise on earth. and a tourism trekking company asked us to get involved. The trail was getting more littered, so we do 3-day hikes to Kerreri. We've also started, every Saturday we go to Guna Temple. It's a local sacred Gadi temple. Hundreds of people come every day. Same problem again, no dustbins, no waste management. And then dustbins. This has been one of the highlights of my year. 10 dustbins that we had made. We painted them. We had a fabulous volunteer that painted them, and they're really beautiful. People actually respect them. We empty these every single day. I have 3 members of staff that empty the dustbins every day. We also have 10 dustbins on wheels now that were donated by Coca-Cola, and that's a big help, especially in the mountains. You can imagine how difficult it is lifting all this stuff around. Pierce Chawla. I believe 100% that if we are going to change the attitude of the next generation, we need to involve the people they love. They love cricket players and they love Bollywood stars. And Adam Gilchrist, Amit Yadav and Paul Valhati came to a competition that we ran, which was a painting competition with the theme Save Mother Earth. And that's the paintings behind, and the cricket players were super impressed by what we were doing, and Adam has offered to help us actually next year. This was our guest house at Triund where we kept our things, and that was it after the fire. The reason I'm showing you this is the positive. We put an appeal out on Facebook, and within 1 week, people had donated enough money for us to be able to buy new sleeping bags, new mats, new kit, all the things that we'd lost in the fire. The public replaced in appreciation of what we do. We then moved our children's days to Forsyth Gange, so now we run them one Sunday of every month. We do a children's day. Invite all of the local children, make things out of garbage, make posters, keep Bagsu clean, make banners, teach them about recycling, play a segregation game. Children's playground, so there's a second children's playground in Bagsu. And you can see this is us clearing it here. We've got 3 large dustbins this size out of this one small playground. And for me, I find it so hard to understand how anybody can throw their garbage into a children's playground. And I still find that hard to understand. So we maintain both of the children's playgrounds now. We've had several groups of international students come in to help us, and we've been going into the schools with them. This is one game which was a recycling quiz show. So lots of novel ways that people can learn and that the children can learn. Very proud of my 3 dustbin setup. This is set up at a very popular trekking crossroads. So trekkers coming from various locations will come here. One for dry waste, recyclables, one for non-recyclables, and one for plastic bottles, with a sign in English and in Hindi about responsible hiking and what you should do out in nature. We were at Mani Mahesh again this year, 6 weeks again, even more difficult and more challenging. Anybody that would like to come along and help at the Yatra or any of our voluntary programmes, please do so. And these are the 3 staff that I employ and one of my volunteers. How much time do I have?
3 minutes.
3 minutes, okay. So I've got lots of films and lots of other things that I wanted to show you, but I talk too much. So I was going to show you a film. It's called Save Earth, and it shows just how amazing our planet is. And I think sometimes we lose sight of just how incredible this planet is. I don't know about your view, but my view and the view of a lot of other people, that the tsunamis and the hurricanes, all of these crazy things that are going on, Mother Nature is warning us that we need to change the way that we live. You probably don't realise how important India is. India has 1/5 of the world's population. What you do here is so important that it affects the entire world. Recycling is a good one. There is no getting away from it. India has a big garbage problem, and this is not your fault. It's down to the government to be able to provide facilities. If you had a dustbin, would you use it? Probably, but most of the time you're not even given that chance. But try and recycle in your school or in your workplace. You can contact me about information on how to do it, but it is the same anywhere in India. Wherever there are rag pickers, wherever there are poor people, they will come and take or buy your recyclable items from you. And approximately 80% of the waste that we generate is recyclable. There's a lot that we can do. Think about what you buy. Do you actually need that packaging? Are you taking another plastic bag? Or can you actually buy something that isn't in all this packaging? Make a pledge not to throw it on the ground. Let's stop doing this. I've come to Mumbai and even now it's becoming cleaner. When I came back and I went to Delhi, it's getting cleaner. It's working. Keep at it. And just make a special vow to put it in your pocket, put it in your bag, and don't throw it on the ground. Start composting. Have a home composter. If you have a business, think about, and anyone that wants to know more information about these subjects really should contact me. And speak up when people throw it on the ground. I know it's embarrassing, and it's really embarrassing for them too. And it does make people think twice before doing it again. And organise a clean-up in your community. Do you not have a local playground or an area where the kids play? That it would be really, really cool if you could clean it up. And then other people see you and see what you're doing, and then they want to get involved too. I was a volunteer coordinator in England. I coordinate the volunteers here now, and I will be completely honest with you. If it was not for volunteers, there would be no mountain cleaners. They are the reason that we have continued for the last 2.5 years. People giving their time to us, and there is nothing more valuable than people's time and their skills. By volunteering, you gain valuable skills yourself. You can learn something new, maybe something you wouldn't have done before. It will give you a confidence boost. New experiences, something to write on your CV, and a good talking point for jobs. I'm just going to leave you with a quote. Success is not final, failure is not fatal, it is the courage to continue that counts. Thank you very much.